Many seniors enter the new year exhausted, not realizing what quietly caused the damage. As we approach the end of the year, there is a natural tendency to focus on celebration, family, and the setting of new goals. However, for those over the age of 70, the transition into a new year carries a specific set of risks that doctors and geriatric specialists see repeated every December. I want to tell you about a man named Henry, a 74-year-old retired engineer from Ohio. Henry was the life of his family's holiday party. He spent the week leading up to New Year's Eve, moving heavy boxes of decorations, skipping his usual afternoon naps to run errands for his grandchildren, and indulging in the rich, salty foods that only appear this time of year. He felt fine until he didn't. On January 2nd, while the rest of the world was starting their resolutions, Henry was in a hospital bed with a combination of extreme exhaustion and a dangerous spike in blood pressure. Henry's story is not unique. Medical professionals refer to the period between late December and early January as a red zone for senior health. The combination of cold weather, disrupted routines, and physical overexertion creates a perfect storm. It is a time when the buffer zone of a senior's health is pushed to its absolute limit. Many seniors believe that they can push through the holidays just like they did in their 50s, but the biological reality after 70 is that the body requires a much longer recovery time for every withdrawal made from its energy bank. Today, I am going to share the 4 critical mistakes that doctors urge every senior over 70 to avoid before the clock strikes midnight. These are not just suggestions. They are essential strategies to ensure you enter the new year with your health and independence intact, rather than spending your January in a doctor's office. The first mistake that is almost universally made is the routine rupture. For a person in their 20s or 30s, staying up late for 3 nights in a row or shifting meal times by 4 hours is a minor stressor. For a person over 70, the body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm, is much less flexible. This rhythm controls more than just sleep. It regulates blood pressure, hormone release, and even the effectiveness of your immune system. When you skip your usual 8 a.m. breakfast or push your 10 p.m. bedtime to 1 a.m. for a New Year's celebration, you aren't just losing sleep. You are throwing your entire metabolic system into chaos. This disruption often leads to what doctors call post-holiday crash. When the routine is broken, the body's cortisol levels spike to keep you going, which can mask symptoms of fatigue or illness. Once the festivities end, those levels plummet, leaving the immune system vulnerable. This is why we see a massive spike in respiratory infections and shingles outbreaks in the first 2 weeks of January. I spoke with a geriatrician who said, "My older patients think they are just tired from the party, but they've actually pushed their bodies into a state of physiological debt that takes weeks to repay." To avoid this, doctors urge you to keep your anchor points the same. Even if you stay up for the ball drop, ensure your wake-up time and meal times stay within an hour of your normal schedule. Your body thrives on the safety of a predictable pattern. The second mistake is what specialists call the invisible load, or the physical overexertion that happens during holiday preparation. After 70, the density of your muscle fibers and the lubrication in your joints have changed significantly. Many seniors find themselves climbing ladders to take down lights, lifting heavy bins of ornaments, or standing for 5 hours straight in a kitchen preparing a New Year's Day meal. Because you are distracted by the joy of the season, your brain often ignores the micro signals of pain that would normally tell you to stop. By the time you feel the ache, the damage, usually in the form of a strained ligament or a compressed spinal disc, is already done. Let's look at the story of Margaret, 72, who spent 4 days straight cleaning her house for guests. She didn't fall, and she didn't have an accident. But by New Year's Day, her sciatic nerve was so inflamed from the repetitive bending that she couldn't walk to her own front door. Doctors urge seniors to outsource the heavy lifting. This isn't a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. Use a 15-minute rule. For every 15 minutes of physical activity, you must sit for 5 minutes. This prevents the buildup of inflammation that leads to holiday injuries, which can sideline your mobility for months. The third mistake is the medication modification error. This happens in 2 ways. First, the busy schedule causes a senior to simply forget a dose of their heart or blood pressure medication. Second, because of the influx of rich holiday foods and alcohol, some seniors self-adjust their doses, thinking they need more or less to compensate for their indulgence. This is a recipe for disaster. Your medications are calibrated to a specific baseline in your blood. When you introduce the high sodium of a holiday ham or the dehydrating effects of a New Year's toast, your kidneys and liver are already working overtime. Changing your medication timing or dosage during this stress period can lead to sudden orthostatic hypotension, a drop in blood pressure when you stand up, which is the leading cause of New Year's Eve falls. I once treated a man who skipped his diuretic because he didn't want to use the bathroom during a party. By the next morning, he had so much fluid in his lungs he couldn't catch his breath. Doctors are clear. Your medication schedule is your most important New Year's resolution. Set an alarm on your phone or use a pill organizer that you keep in your pocket, not just in the kitchen. Do not let the celebration distract you from the chemistry that keeps you stable. The fourth and final mistake that doctors urge seniors over 70 to avoid as the year draws to a close is the dehydration trap, often exacerbated by the alcohol illusion. Many seniors believe that because it is cold outside, they don't need to drink as much water as they do in the heat of the summer. However, winter air is notoriously dry, and indoor heating systems strip moisture from the body with every breath you take. When you add celebratory cocktails or wine into the mix, the risk becomes critical. Alcohol acts as a potent diuretic, forcing the kidneys to flush out water that the body desperately needs to maintain blood volume and brain function. In a person over 70, the thirst mechanism, the biological alarm that tells you to drink, is often significantly dampened. By the time you actually feel thirsty, you are already clinically dehydrated. This leads to a thickening of the blood, which increases the risk of clots, and a decrease in cerebral blood flow, which causes dizziness and brain fog. Consider the story of Robert, 76, who enjoyed 2 glasses of champagne on New Year's Eve, but drank no water throughout the night. At 2:00 a.m., he woke up to use the bathroom, became lightheaded because his blood pressure was too low from dehydration, and suffered a serious fall. Doctors urge a 1-for-1 rule. For every ounce of alcohol or caffeinated coffee you consume, you must drink 8 ounces of plain water. Staying hydrated is the simplest way to protect your kidneys and your balance during the high-stress holiday window. Beyond these 4 specific mistakes, there is a broader psychological trap that seniors over 70 often fall into during this time of year: the legacy of capability. This is the internal pressure to perform, host, and act exactly as you did 20 years ago. You want to show your children and grandchildren that you are still the strong one, the one who can handle the cooking, the cleaning, and the late-night festivities without skipping a beat. But this desire to prove your youth often leads to a silent collapse. Doctors observe that seniors frequently suppress their physical symptoms during family gatherings because they don't want to ruin the fun or be seen as a burden. This stoicism is dangerous If you feel a flutter in your chest, a strange numbness in your feet, or a level of fatigue that feels heavy, you must speak up. Your family would much rather spend New Year's Day relaxing on the couch with you than sitting in an emergency room waiting area. The most successful seniors, those who reach 90 and 100 with their independence intact, are the ones who have mastered the art of strategic pacing. They know when to delegate the heavy cooking to the younger generation. They know when to go to a quiet room for a 30-minute rest, and they are not afraid to say no to late-night invitations that disrupt their recovery. As we look toward the new year, your primary goal should be stability maintenance. The transition from December to January is a period of high environmental and emotional stress. The drop in temperature causes peripheral blood vessels to constrict, which naturally raises blood pressure. The emotional highs of seeing family, followed by the lows of the house becoming quiet again, can trigger significant fluctuations in your heart rate and sleep quality. This is why the first week of January is often the busiest week for geriatric wards. Doctors are essentially asking you to be the captain of your own ship. Do not let the currents of holiday tradition pull you into the rocks of medical crisis. I want to encourage you to perform a health audit on the morning of December 31st. Ask yourself 3 questions. Am I hydrated? Have I taken my medications exactly on time? Is there any part of my body that feels strained? If the answer to any of these is concerning, make the adjustments immediately. Don't wait until the new year to fix your health. The most important resolution you can make is not to lose weight or start a new hobby, but to respect the biological boundaries of your 70s. This respect is not a sign of getting old. It is a sign of high-level intelligence and self-preservation. By avoiding the routine rupture, the invisible load, medication errors, and dehydration, you are setting yourself up for a January of vitality rather than a January of recovery. You have spent decades building your life, your family, and your wisdom. Don't let 4 avoidable mistakes in the final week of the year undo the work you've done to stay healthy. Protecting your baseline during the holidays is the ultimate gift you can give to yourself and your loved ones. Thank you for being part of our community and for taking your health seriously. If this information helped you feel more prepared for the coming week, please hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into senior wellness. We are committed to helping you navigate the complexities of aging with clarity and strength. Leave a comment below. What is your plan for staying healthy this new year? Do you have a pacing strategy that works for you? Your insights could be the very thing that helps someone else avoid a hospital stay this season. Stay proactive, stay mindful of your body's signals, and I will see you in the first video of the new year. Stay safe and take care of yourself.